In the last video, we spoke about possible reasons for not believing in God. Watch the prior video to this to see what reasons we brought up. Here we will, according to me, bring about a solution to each reason why one does not believe in God. The first reason was that one has not reflected upon God's existence to believe in God's existence. The solution to this would be to ponder about God's existence. One who does this sincerely will definitely conclude that there must exist a God. As for the next reason of being in an environment that does not talk about God, then it would be obvious why one would not believe in God, because there is no mentioning of the subject. So if it is not mentioned, one will not ponder, and if one does not ponder about the existence of God, then one might think he does not exist. The solution would be to strive for conversations that mentions God to see for oneself if he exists or not, by using one's intellect and deep reflections. The third reason we talked about was being lazy. In this case, one knows that God exists but does not want to follow God, and this is dangerous. One should try to find a balance. For every blessing there is a key and a lock. The lock to blessings is laziness. Only oneself loses by being lazy, no one else, even to worldly matters. What one can think about laziness is that striving for the truth is easier than being sentenced to a less good afterlife for all eternity. Now, what one will notice also when one wants this truth in God is that it is not at all difficult to follow this truth. But this fear exists only in one's thoughts until one decides to follow this truth, to realize that it is not as hard as one thinks it is. On the contrary, it will feel peaceful. To also do not believe in God, or rather believe that he exists but denies him due to one's past, is to prioritize feelings over logic, because we need to understand that this world and our body belongs to God if he is the creator. He can therefore, if he wants to, do anything with this world and us because it belongs to him. What belongs to someone, one can do anything with it. Imagine if we create a game, we can do whatever we want with the trees, animals, the humans within the game because we are its creator. Now, even though God can do all of this, he does not come in between us and our free will. Secondly to this, God tests us only within our own capacity, so it is up to us to be grateful or not for what we go through. No one of us are burdened more than what we can bear, and this each one of us can feel it within. The test we receive from God by having difficulties but also ease in this life will also come back to us as rewards in an afterlife if we are patient and grateful. Everything we go through in the way of God makes us to be better human beings in all aspects if we go through it correctly. To tackle the grudge aspect of our reason for not believing God is to realize that God has more right over us than what we have over ourselves, and that if we accept and go through what God sends for good and evil in our way, we will be victorious. As for those who do not believe in God because there is no eyewitness proof, it will be stated that God, who has caused time, space, and matter, is not subject to be witnessed with our senses. No time can find God, no space can surround him, and he is not bound to the limitations of matter. No light can reach God for us to see God. He perceives all visions while we perceive him not. We cannot encompass God with our knowledge. We are not meant to see God. Have me or you seen someone sew our socks? We do not need eyewitness knowledge for us to give proof of the one who sewed our socks. Likewise, the cause to the effect of the universe and all life doesn't have to be seen. Besides all of this, there are many things within the creation that we cannot see in our light spectrum, but still exist. Gravity is one out of many examples. Our thoughts, intellect, consciousness cannot either be measured with our eyes. So how are we supposed to see our Creator if we cannot grasp the created within? Now, we have also some people who do not believe in God because of all evil that exists. One example, for instance, would be the earthquakes, or a child with cancer, or the allowance of a murderer to kill someone innocent. In this life, it is fair that we are tested with both good and evil. Why should we only allow good? How would we know who is sincere or not, if not for evil? Only within the evil we can distinguish it from the good to understand what good is. And secondly, the topic of evil does not exclude the existence of a God. It isn't because evil exists, God must not exist. Rather, it could be stated that with God, evil will meet its consequences and can only fairly be done so with God in the picture. Evil exists regardless of God or not. Justice will not prevail if only evil exists without God, but justice will prevail with a God so that evil will be diminished. The existence of evil does not either answer why, how, and when the universe came into existence, but the possible existence of God can. The universe and all life is bound to such questions, so we cannot say that God does not exist because evil exists, since outside of evil there is more things that needs answers. So an example of evil we have mentioned is earthquakes. Isn't it sad for those who are affected by this? Now, people who are affected by earthquakes could be people who have sinned a lot knowingly, so they meet their consequences by the earthquake. It could be that many chances were given to them, but they did not listen until the punishment seized them. Another wisdom of earthquakes are that no one within the area of it happening gets injured, but it serves as a reminder to wake up and improve oneself so that one is ready to meet death and its challenges. It could also come as a reward, meaning the earthquake who took people with it to the next life will be among good people in a good place, meaning they were people of good, so when their time came and the earthquake took them, they all went to paradise. When it comes to a child with cancer, there are many views of this. One in which is that a child that dies of cancer will immediately without discussion be in a good afterlife. Who knows? While none of us remember because we all have bad memory, in the case of the child, she or he might have in a prior life to this chosen to die early to obtain paradise immediately. So how can we blame God if not everything is clear to us while everything would be clear to God who is all-knowing, all-just and all-wise? Okay, but why then does God allow a murderer kill someone innocent? Nothing will be in vain. A murderer will in a judgment day before God be dealt justly, and so will the innocent person. God allows the act of a murderer, so a murderer cannot in front of God argue that he or she didn't perform the act. See, we do not have all the puzzle pieces for us to believe God does not exist because of evil. Now a man who is struck in the arm by another man next to him will be judged as evil for a third point of view who is far away, but didn't hear the conversation between these men that the arm needed to be struck to not allow the remaining poison from the arm reach the whole body. So the decision of cutting the arm was good, not evil. God knows what we do not know. Therefore, we should focus on our own life. Then we can understand that God is all just and not evil. Because only when we focus on ourselves and our own problems, we know deeply that each one of us is capable of handling what we go through. Now, a solution for us who do not accept God due to our lack of trust in God's mercy, so we don't act in God's way, is to rearrange our minds to start trusting and acting God's way, to see that if we ask God for forgiveness, we will find God to be merciful. A murderer can choose to believe that society would accept him/her and stop his/her act to show the society that he/she can improve, or the same murderer can continue to kill for having no trust. Which is worse? So since one does not believe that God will forgive, this individual who believes so has not tried to ask God for forgiveness. One who is in this category should try doing it. And God, unlike society that might accept one, will always accept one. God is infinite in forgiving those who sincerely turn to God and ask for forgiveness. One can also reflect upon that if someone is dirty and needs a shower to be purified, that someone should not be saying, I'm not going to shower because I'm going to get dirty again. Instead, one should shower when one is dirty to be clean. The same principle applies when one sins. It's important to sincerely ask God for forgiveness to eliminate that sin one has committed. It isn't also that God is angry with any of us. God is not subject to anger. That would be a defect in God if God could be or get angry. He is far from getting angry. It is only our own loss if we sin, and it is our own loss if we sin and do not ask for forgiveness. So for those who do not believe in God or ignore God for fear of sin, it should be stated that it is a sin in itself that one does not believe in God's mercy, which encompasses all things. So how about those then who do not follow God because they think it is too late and one has become very old when the truth has come to them? So the question is it better to realize the truth or ignore the truth because oneself thinks it is too late? This, just as the murderer's case about asking society for forgiveness, is all about trust. How does one know it is too late when God is the one who holds one's lifespan? Are we all-knowing or God? As long as one humbly accepts God, God will be forgiving, no matter the age. God can give an extended lifespan of the one who is old to live in obedience to God in order to have the opportunity to eliminate everything bad one has done before realizing the truth. If one relies upon God, a year with God is enough to reach high levels of spirituality and for one to be saved. One who is old and realizes the truth at an old age will also have the sins eliminated from the past because it was done in ignorance. So there is nothing to worry about. The importance is now. One should humbly accept the truth and feel good for the rest of this and the next life. One should not underestimate God's mercy. Just as God's omniscience and omnipotent, it is infinite. We shouldn't let whispers inside of us fool us to something else than this. Hopefully the reasons to why some would not believe in God has been answered.